Time to round up a big topic from the week. Federal immigration officials came to Houston last week to tour a former middle school. They're considering it as a possible detention center for some of the thousands of undocumented children crossing into Texas. It's one of many possible locations officials are looking at. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee says so far nothing has been decided. Last week, President Obama declined an invitation to visit the Rio Grande Valley to see the growing crisis firsthand. He said he wasn't interested in photo ops, but in solving a problem. So just what that solution should be is our topic this half hour. We want to hear from you. You can weigh in on our Fox 26 Facebook page or send a tweet using the hashtag Fox26forlife. In our newsroom is our legal analyst, Chris Tritico, our news analyst, Mustafa Tamiz, and our public policy analyst, Jackie Valley. All right, the White House, guys, has asked Congress for $3.7 billion in emergency funds to tackle some of this problem, but the Republicans are holding it up for now. Why is that?
Well, I think that the Republicans they claim they're holding it up because they don't like the president's plan. Although the House Republicans have been holding up any bill on immigration reform for the last several years and just said 2 weeks ago to the president they wouldn't bring up immigration reform this calendar year at all. Now, when the president asked for this $3.7 billion, it's going to force them to do something. John Cornyn and Cuellar are filing a bill tomorrow that addresses the funding request by the president and also addresses, Mustafa Tamiz, a modification of the 2008 law that George Bush signed that really created this situation.
That's one part of the bill that I like, which is that it starts to underscore what actually happened. This is not something that the President Obama created. This was legislation unanimous, passed by the House and the Senate, and signed by President Bush, making it illegal to deport these kids back to where they come from.
If it's a non-contiguous country to the United States.
And the reason why that's important is because when we talk about immigration, it always comes up, follow the law, that these people have not followed the law. Now, the outcry has been for the president to break the law. To put these kids back. So, I'm glad that we're starting to talk about this. But the bigger issue is that as local communities face this growing crisis and having to pay for this and potentially bankrupting municipalities and counties near the border and nonprofits, we have to start putting pressure on Congress to pass legislation to fund it.
Last week, the president was in Texas. He went to Dallas and Austin. I happened to be in Austin when the president was there. It's not a good time to be in Austin when the president's there, it turns out, because of the traffic, but that's not the story. The president wouldn't go to the border with the governor, but he did meet with the governor. He said the governor's got some good ideas, and he said to the governor, get the Republicans to pass this funding and I can help you.
Well, the reason why the Republicans and conservatives are hesitant to pass this funding, especially outlined the way the president has outlined it, because he wants money to go to more administrative judges and lawyers to help with helping with the process as these kids are in the country, as opposed to what we have been asking, what the governor is asking, for more Border Patrol. Now, the Border Patrol agents are telling you, and they're telling everyone, look, because of the influx of these children, we're not even able to do our jobs. We're playing nursemaid, we're playing house mother, we're doing more administrative stuff. We're not able to patrol the border like we should be. They have been very vocal about that. Right. And that's why the conservatives are holding it up, because we need to have people secure the border.
I know you
That's
want to talk
the
about
first
that.
problem we need to fix.
We'll come back to that in a minute. I'm going to go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media.
Yeah, first up, we're going to check in on Twitter. Ronald is saying Republicans and the Tea Party numbskulls blame Obama for the border crisis. He's asking in a question, won't pass immigration reform. And then heading over to our Facebook page this morning, Cheryl says, I am on the side of secure our border and send them back immediately. There is no way they are going to return to the courts in 8 months for a follow-up hearing to see if they can get asylum. And what a slap in the face to those who immigrated to this country legally.
And I think she's right about that, that they're not going to come back, but that's the law right now. And isn't that part of what the president's saying is I understood the president's request for $3.7 billion did increase border security and, as Jackie said, the judges and the other administrative costs.
So let's be clear about this. Let's say we put 1 million people standing at the border, right? 1 million people, we had border agents, they're holding hands like this, and we created a human border, right? As the kid approaches you, they would have to do the exact same thing that they're doing right now, because they cannot send the kid back from where they're standing. And if he's in the United States, the law clearly states that you can't send them back. So here's the issue. Do we want to fix the problem, or do we want another opportunity to attack the president?
And because the law says you have to treat children from non-contiguous countries in a way that they are, why don't the House Republicans just amend that law?
As our viewer, just before I answer your question, as our viewer stated, that's why I take it personally. I came to this country legally. Those of us who did come here legally should have a problem with what's going on. Even though we do empathize with the children, as a mother, you have to empathize. All of us do. I haven't heard anyone say anything differently. The law that was passed is the law that was passed. That's not the argument. The argument is that we continually have to press and ask the governor, the president and the Democrats for more funding for border security. That's the first thing we have to tackle.
Well, but I just seems to me if they would amend that law, it would save a lot of things. We got to go right there. We're going to wrap it up. Sally, we'll be back next week with some really solid stories.
Okay, it was great seeing you guys. Have a great Sunday. Thanks.